should give us the 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. It was close. It was close. What up, what up? It is Friday morning. That means it's time for Unfiltered and Unaffected live right here on worldviral.tv.
Good morning,
My name is
people.
Trevor O'Connor, the good-looking guy.
I'm just the eye candy.
Brian Roundtree.
Brian
Good morning,
Roundtree.
people. Good morning, people. Chris Thomas sitting over there at the producer's desk, taking care of business, making sure that this broadcasts to the world for your entertainment.
I did see that I got an email at 4:46 a.m.,
I was working hard.
which means that Roundtree's on about 45 minutes sleep.
That was 4 hours ago. That was 4 hours ago.
Roughly
Yeah.
45 minutes. Not even that, because the goddamn dogs were barking all morning. Apparently, we have mice in the house now, and they've decided to migrate in. It was getting a little cold outside, so...
You got one of those fertility vortexes going on here?
Yeah, it's real fun. They're coming. I mean, they got their own little thing going on.
Have a habit
see 'em,
trail?
I'll be in the middle of work, and here they come popping off the desk, and they're going down the stairs.
They're
I'm
like,
guys,
"Daddy,
I don't have
Daddy."
time to catch you.
Daddy!
Get the fuck out of the house.
What are you going to do about that?
I don't know. I've just gotten used to so many different animals.
Just live and let live?
Different beings in my
Are,
house.
are
now
mice,
that
I mean,
I'm just.
I guess
over
they
it.
could carry some disease, but they're really not that dangerous.
They're so cute, you know. I don't know. I don't really like. I'm not into killing anything. I don't even kill flies.
Oh, I'll
I don't
kill some
kill
shit.
spiders.
I'll kill a cat in a fucking minute. I fucking hate
You're
cats.
that guy.
I hate
Here's
yeah.
a fire cry. Here's an
Well,
MD in
the
your
problem
ass,
is-
cat.
I'm like stupid allergic to cats. So my eyes swell up and I can't breathe, and so I just hate them. Like I just
So they're
naturally
already attacking you. So
right,
it feels like you're just
right. It's
defending
war.
yourself at that
It's
point.
war.
Yeah,
At that point,
It's
I need to
war.
do
that
something.
makes sense.
Oh, I fucking hate cats, and they're just cats are just fucking assholes.
Yeah,
Like they just look at you like they're better than you
they're
all
not
the
real
time.
personable. I don't
No.
know. They're-
I just,
none of
my
them-
cat,
I mean,
we just got its teeth cleaned. It's like 16 years old. And,
Holy crap!
yeah.
That's about 15 and a half years too long.
Where do you go to get a cat's teeth cleaned?
You know, I was going to ask Kevin Fitzgerald last week if he would do me a favor, do me a solid, but I forgot. So just the normal vet on, like, I think University Hills vet is what.
Do they hook you up?
They do that.
Yeah, they did. They
All right,
hooked us
then you
up.
can mention them.
See, the dogs, you just
University
throw a bone
Hills.
to them. I don't know.
Yeah, a dog, you just get one of those dentabones
Here's
and you
a
throw it out
bone,
there, it does its own
go
business.
crazy.
Right?
Cat
Yeah.
sees that, it's like, no.
A cat poops in your house.
Yeah.
They poop. I will say that about cats as opposed to dogs is at least once they get the box and get used to the box, they go to the box.
But you know what? It
My
still
dogs
smells.
go everywhere.
It still smells.
Well, yeah.
I can't stand to walk into a cat house.
Yeah.
If you have a cat and I walk
Hell,
in, I'm
you're
like,
not going to the right cat house.
I'm like, wow, you that was good. I walk in and I'm like, wow, you have a cat. Did you see him? Nope.
I smell it.
I can smell it from here. Yeah.
I can smell that pussy from right coming through the door.
And it's stanky.
I don't know why. I've always hated cats. I don't dig it. My kids ask for a cat,
Yeah.
and I tell them we'll get another dog.
Yeah. When Nikki and I first started out 10 years ago, she thought it'd be really cute. You know, we had all these cute little kids that were like,
Oh,
you know,
let's bring home a
1
kitty.
and 2 and 3 or whatever, and she thought, oh, it'd be cute to have a little cat. Well, little cats are the worst. I mean, the baby ones are really they're always constantly going after everything, scratching, and the nails.
And little
are
kids
like
want to pick them
super
up
sharp,
and
the
squeeze
kids
them,
want-
and then
yeah.
the cat wants to defend
Yeah,
itself.
this cat was literally just scratching the shit out of, you know, every kid's face every chance it got, and I was like, babe, I'm not sure
Did you
that
put it
the
in a bag?
cat, the kids aren't ready for a cat. We're not ready for a cat.
Did you
the kids aren't ready.
did you put it in a pillowcase and throw it in the river?
No, I didn't. I'm not that cruel. We just lit the apartment on fire and it blew
Oh,
up,
and the cat, you don't know.
We don't know what happened to the cat,
And you got a
but
dog with the
I'm pretty sure he got out of there. Though. I mean,
Oh man,
what do we got going on the show today?
We have a great show today. Sitting in studio already with us is one of the founding members of the worldviral.tv family, Mr. Will Kilduff.
Yes.
What up,
Yes.
Will?
Also-
Thanks for having me today, guys. It's
Also,
nice to be here.
Welcome.
Also, Walking Music. If you look all over the website, you can find some of Will's stuff on under Walking Music.
Yeah.
Or Grandpa Boots. I did a video with him not long ago of him doing a Michael Jackson cover. I think that's up on the website as well.
Yeah, we did a little Thriller testing
Yeah,
out Studio
yeah, we're
B.
checking out Studio B, so I
Yeah.
recorded him doing Thriller. It was
I
pretty
forgot
good.
about that.
That was awesome.
I got a nice invite from you just yesterday, I believe, for you got a big networking event coming up, huh?
Yeah, well, it's actually a group of friends that we grew up with that put a networking golf tournament event together.
Right,
They're
right,
called
right.
Colorado Connection, and they called me up and asked if the golf tournament could benefit Optimus Youth. which is the charity that I've been running for the last
Which
7
is
years.
way better than it benefiting Optimus Prime.
Nice.
Optimus Prime's good, you know.
But he's
already
funded.
taken care of. Yeah, well funded
Well,
from
it's
outer
better,
space.
better than supporting pessimist youth as well as
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
want the
Pessimistic
pessimistic youth to be
Yeah,
the ones.
there's
Getting
a lot of
money.
them out there.
Yeah.
So
Well, the money would still be there
yeah.
Right, yeah, that's true.
because they would never believe it was enough to do anything.
exactly. But yeah, it's September 28th at Heritage Eagle Bend.
Nice.
Private course. It's a Sunday, shotgun start, and
I gotta do that, man.
it's
I think
some
that
cool
sounds
cool kids, man. There's this really
Tattoos and
interesting
flip flops, welcome.
Always,
Oh
man.
yeah.
I'm in.
You're looking at my dress up right now. I dressed up for the
You
radio.
did. You got
We
cleaned up
appreciate
today.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
Put on a fresh shirt.
I did. There's not even a coffee stain.
What's going on with the rubber band and the beard, dude?
Yeah, what's
Well,
up?
So
Captain
the rubber band
Albino?
with the beard is training. It's beard training
Okay.
for the bun. That I'm growing my beard for 2 years. I haven't decided.
Is
if
this
it's
a new-
gonna- I started when I got back from Jamaica. Well, I started really. in
Okay, he
February.
went through the I'm not going to eat meat for 2 months. I'm not going to do this.
Oh,
for
I'm
3
still a vegan, bro.
And now we're going on to I'm not cutting my beard for 2
You'll
years.
like our dinner and a movie segment this
Yeah.
week. We
Yeah,
went
I'm
to
still
Live
still
Kitchen,
doing the
so-
vegetarian thing. The beard thing is crazy because it just whenever I could grow a beard from when I was 13, right? But I couldn't grow a mustache. My mustache was white, so I always wanted a beard. And then when I turned 23, my mustache magically appeared overnight. So I just started shaving like every 2 weeks. I reached a point where I kind of just stopped caring about aesthetics. and I'd gotten out of law school and I was just like, I don't give a shit what people think.
That's
I look
so
like.
why I love to introduce you as my homeless friend Will.
Because then I got out of law school and then I became homeless. So like we started traveling internationally and I started working with these reggae musicians, and you guys will see some clips from Walking Music, and I had already been experimenting with facial hair and growing my hair out and doing some other things, and so in February I've lost 100 pounds since the end of 2012.
Yeah.
And in February I moved back in with my mom, and we were both curious what my skinny face looked like because I had this beard.
Yeah.
And so I shaved, and I went through a 3-day depression, man. I'm not even kidding. Every time I looked in the mirror, I was sad. I was like, I hate my face, and I didn't want to leave the house.
I love your face, Will.
Well, it's not saying that it wasn't like a handsome face, but like without a beard, I'm just like, who the fuck
Less
is this?
man.
pussy,
Where'd that man go?
Where'd this guy go?
You know,
so I just let it go, and now I'm rolling with it.
Since you and I have met
Nice.
and hooked up and worked together,
Yeah.
I've seen you in everything from full beard and like Brad Pitt greasy hair
yeah.
to like head shaved.
Yeah.
No, to mohawk.
Yeah, mohawk.
Right
I had the
after
mohawk for a
long
month
hair,
too.
there's
yeah.
mohawk with a beard to clean shaven, head shaved, like head buzzed.
Yeah, buzzed the whole night.
Back to homeless Will.
Homeless Will is really Will. And that's
Is
what I'm-
this where you
that's-
feel the
oh,
best?
boy.
That's
really
what I'm.
Will.
Embracing. Is the fact that like I did not expect that when I started. I said when I shaved last time. Okay, well, every time I shave, I get a little bit sad. So why should I ever shave?
Why should you make yourself sad?
Why should I make myself sad if I really?
There's
enjoy
enough things in
beard?
the world to make you sad that you don't need help.
Exactly. And what I noticed after like 2.5 months was that I just felt great, and I didn't care if it was like this psycho.
What's going on the
craziness.
top?
The top is getting long too.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna do the.
You're
locks
almost
as
back
well.
to full on homeless Will.
Yeah, I mean,
it's still cute, right? Right now,
right
you
now
can
it's still looking
style
good.
it.
Yeah, and I'm clean this morning too,
Yeah.
so I don't have the Brad Pitt grease that you
Yeah.
mentioned, which does occasionally show up.
Gotta
in
hit
my
the shower
realm
at
of
the Y
existence.
this morning. Nice.
Yeah, exactly,
Shower
man.
at
I
the
stopped
Y.
at the 7-Eleven actually and just grabbed the bar soap and did that whole nine. But yeah, I mean, I'm rolling with it, and I've got these Rasta friends, and when I was in Jamaica this spring, my beard was kind of getting there, and this was in April, and so I just basically was like, all right, you have to tell me all of your tricks on how to grow a beard, because I want to grow it forever, and when you're in Jamaica and connected with all the birds and all the, it's really ezy to just be like, I'm going to let the world accept me, and I'm
El
going to just be
natural.
the Nazarite, and I'm going to let everything grow and never do anything, so they taught me how to bun the beard, and
Bun the beard.
and you'll see Baru, who will introduce whenever we pull up the videos. He's got his beard is just this fist that's on his chin, and it just bounces.
Is that what you're gonna
everywhere
go
he goes.
for?
Nice.
You can see it right there.
Oh, look at that.
You guys
I
want to
don't-
play it?
He's dreaded
Yeah,
out.
we can go ahead. This is the first. Actually, this is like the world premiere of any clips from the actual series. It's
Seeing
being
it,
finally
released.
got-
seeing it here first
look
on
at this.
Yeah,
Unfiltered.
so this is when you meet this artist right here in the red shirt. His name is Baru. His artist name is Ngozi, And this right here is when I come back to Jamaica for the first time after 6 months. And this is literally almost immediately right when we met. I had my iPad and I said, you got some songs, let's do it. So this is the first track.
This is the world premiere of Walking Music.
Tell them man a warrior, and we no do things we funny. Yes, man a warrior, and we no sell love for money. Yes, man a warrior, and we no do things we funny. Tell them man a warrior, can't take no barrier. Tell them no news carrier, can't come carrier. Some a yes carrier, some a disease carrier. Tell them none of them man can't come carrier. Baby bona fire ya, pan them a liar ya. Tell them I'm very science, that's my desire ya. No we a warrior, no can't carry ya. Emperor Selassie a witness, so we sorry. Yes, man a warrior. How we not sell love for money.
So that's in Guzzy. The way that Walking Music happened, I know we've talked about it a little bit, but it was truly by accident. I'm in the coffee business. You know, we got M&G coffee going, and we get coffee from Jamaica. So that was the primary intention of my trip.
Right.
But we had met these Rastas, and I was bringing my guitar, and we had a couple cameras, so we were gonna, there it is, mngcoffee.com. So I was basically saying, let's just jam and see what happens. But my primary intention when I left the States was to record.
Right.
I didn't know how. I had an iPad, and I just wasn't there yet. So we said, we've got 2 GoPros and an iPad. Let's just play music for the next 3 days originally, and let's see what happens. And we just jammed on the street. Like, you see that street, that's outside of this guest house. We would just go out there with the guitar and start jamming. And then all of a sudden, people just started showing up. So we kept filming. We kept meeting interesting people. And the Rastas are all about that, you know, Baru says, you know, let's keep it raw. You know, let's just keep everything raw.
Right.
Instead of war, let's go raw, you know.
Right.
And so about 3 days in, it's like, well, what are we going to do with all this footage? You know, we got this story developing. All these crazy people are showing up, and the only consistency here is music. We met people from Afghanistan, from India, from Japan, from the UK, from all these different places, and the only thing that really brought us together was music. So me being from Western culture, you know, I'm saying, well, I'm gonna have to come back a few times, and we're gonna have to produce these songs. We're gonna have to do it legit, and we're gonna have to go through and hire producers, and you know, this is gonna cost us, you know, $10,000 to do, and the Rastas are like, no, dude, just do it raw. Yeah. Just use what we've got. The Rastas are great, but they also are removed, pretty well removed. I mean, they live fairly secluded lives, and so I didn't know how to make a film. I didn't know how to produce music. I've been a musician. I was in Hot Cheese Soup, and you know, we recorded records, and I've been involved in production, but I'd never put on the headphones and taken the helm.
Right.
So I got home last summer, and I was a lawyer, and I was practicing full time. And my business was at the point where it could either grow or I could walk away, essentially. And so I got back, and I was like, well, I think I have to quit being a lawyer. And so after about 2 weeks of really contemplating that, I said, okay, I'm not going to be a lawyer. I'm going to figure out how to make this film and how to produce music. And it commingles with the Mile High Scenesters, which is a charity that me and Chris work with, and then Optimus Youth.
Haven't mentioned that all this pisses me off because I needed him as a lawyer.
No, the fact that I walked away from being a lawyer definitely.
That's a big deal after all that schooling and stuff, I'm sure, too. It was.
Yeah, but you know, ultimately, like the education is paying itself off. I mean, my student loan balance doesn't say that yet.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's true.
Yeah, should have went with homeless Shanker, at least for the first year.
I mean, if you want to know the truth, I mean, I do live with my mom and drive a '93 Taurus, and you know,
the Taurus was a
which
solid car,
you'd be working your way out of your law school debt either way.
Well, I mean, it came down to either continue to grow a business that I'm only growing to facilitate the other things that I'm doing, like music and Optimus Youth and the Mile High Scenesters, or just be poor for another year. And
but with
and it was fine to be
after
poor.
passing the law and becoming a lawyer, the rest of us benefited greatly.
Well, the knowledge is still up there.
I know,
just
but
can't go on paper.
We just can't. You can't represent me in a court of law anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Which
is a blessing. I love it.
It's troublesome to me.
But it's funny now because I had a lot of people that would call me for legal advice, and you know, I'm a friendly guy, so
You would do it.
yeah, I give him advice, but that conversation typically turns into 2 hours, right? And you know, when the lawyer hat goes on, you always correlate that 2 hours to $300 bucks.
Right, 150 an hour.
Time is
It's
money.
like $300, and so when I decided to let my license lapse and focus on this other stuff for real, those phone calls became much easier because I said, you don't. At that point, there's no attorney-client privilege.
Right.
There's no protection,
Right.
so. It would benefit you to call an actual attorney because I'm no
'Cause
longer
I no longer-
practicing and I don't have my license right now, and then the conversation can go away.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
back to friends.
So it's not off the table, man. I mean, if the degree's there and I can reapply for reinstatement at any time.
now, after
so.
you pass, you don't have to pass the bar again.
If I apply for reinstatement, I believe within the next 3 years, then I don't have to take the bar again. But the bar's a methodical, crackpot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
silly test that doesn't prove anything about your ability to be a lawyer. It's just methodical, multiple
Right.
choice. And really, at the end of the day, what you do is you narrow it down to 2 choices, and you choose the lesser ethical one.
And
That's how you pass the bar. Lawyers,
shit.
law students. That is how you pass
so
the bar.
if you decide,
And now
if you
you
decide
know.
to re-up, can I go take the bar for you?
Re-up.
Well, we would probably each do maybe 90 days in jail if we did that.
That's
but
cool.
Maybe they'd put us in the same cell.
Could you work around it for us? I mean,
I mean, I
Hey,
could
Roundtree,
try.
can you hook us up with some dudes in there?
I know a
Roundtree
few
set
people.
us
I mean,
up
if you
for
guys
that.
end up in that route, I got a few people that'll look after you once you get in there.
It'd be pretty funny. It would be a really interesting.
It'd be really
social
funny if I
experiment.
passed.
Yeah.
Thanks,
well, you know
Chris.
what? I mean, it's just like the rest of the testing systems that we have in the country that are fooled into being universal. You know, it's like being a lawyer is not about memorizing law, especially with the internet, because you can type in any statute and
you
get,
can find it. Yeah.
and all the annotations too, which
The research
provides
is
you
already
with everything.
done.
So
You know, you and I had similar paths.
Yeah.
My degree from the University of Northern Colorado is in business law.
yeah.
And then when it got time to go on to get my master's and then to think about law school, I went, who the fuck wants to do that?
So you had a different.
And so I have the most worthless piece of paper.
Well, you know, I mean, I think that higher education has become business, so the piece of paper is not even close to what it used to be worth.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Well, especially not in this time when it's the age of the entrepreneur.
Well, and it's also the age of the internet, and what I think they don't want kids to hear these days is that your entire college education is available on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Because
Or just
it
with
is.
a few clicks of the mouse, you can.
Well,
get-
Wikipedia in law school is when I recognized the power of it, because we had open internet in most of our classes. And what they do in law school is the first year they scare you into studying because they call you on random. It's a scare tactic that was developed in the 1800s.
So they bring up a statute that.
Well, they just say if you don't know it, then you're silly, and we're going to,
What's a
humiliate
fine?
you in front of your peers.
Mm-hmm.
But it was actually calculatedly designed fear tactic that was designed in order to be able to educate more attorneys. So I can't remember this guy's name. I wish I could right now, but he set up Harvard Law School as the first law school to have more than just 5 or 6 students, because you used to always have an apprentice. So you had to find an active attorney that would sponsor you, and you'd go around and follow them, and that was essentially your education.
Huh.
So this guy basically says to the Harvard school, he says, I got a way that we can make a bunch of money and we can educate a bunch of attorneys, and all we have to do is scare the shit out of them. And people who strive to be attorneys are people who are really sensitive because they've always overachieved.
Right.
So if we just scare them
If we
into
tell
the
them they're not
humiliation,
achieving.
then they'll be good. And so what happens is you see this dramatic influx in attorneys at the end of the 1800s, and then higher education becomes the norm in the 1990s, where you don't just now have to go to
You have to go to school.
you have to go to graduate school to
Right.
get your leg up. Not
You don't just graduate high school,
Mhm.
get a degree, and then go out
Mhm.
into the workforce. Now, you
Yeah.
then have to get a master's or better.
Well, when I got into law school, I was shocked that I even got in because
We all.
well, it was just because we grow up with this construct, especially in our country, where it's like you got to be a lawyer or a doctor.
Mhm.
You know, those are the two professions that are the.
Well, if you want a hot chick.
If you want a hot chick
Or a hot car.
or a hot car, or but those are the
But
things.
not a
Even
hot
like
car.
if you look at
you can
silly
get that anywhere.
silly drama television shows, like what are the ones that
Sure,
are
they're all
there?
lawyers or doctors.
Exactly. And so I went back to school. My stepdad was a judge at the time, and I had my whole career mapped out. He had my internships lined up.
Oh,
He
yeah.
had a job waiting for me as a district attorney. And I was so frustrated with what the American dream was for a business degree. I'm in my 4th job. I've been out of school for 2 years, you know. And I was working construction, and I was like, this isn't forever, but, you know, I need to do something. Well, so I get into school, and my stepdad basically is like, I'll pay for everything, you know, I'll do all that stuff, I'll help you out. And then in my first semester when I was studying for finals, he got caught sleeping with the district attorney in the basement of the courthouse.
He should not do that.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is a 10-year judge.
Hello,
so it made
nurse.
AP News, Associated Press. I mean, it was a big deal, and it kind of knocked my family upside down. And it made me be in law school.
You should have at least taken her to a motel.
That's what I said. It's like you could be a little bit more discreet about it. You know, like your decisions are your decisions.
Or in his chambers.
Well,
I bet
in
that
his
lends
chambers.
itself-
Closed door, lock. He's the one.
Yeah.
No one's
It
coming in.
probably
there.
lends itself to the notion of power, though. And
Well, he was
to
definitely- I
do
mean-
something like that.
Yeah,
I
when you
look
get-
back on it and
When you get drunk on power, you think you can pull off anything.
Exactly,
anywhere.
and that's you know, I've got no ill will towards that man at all in my life anymore. At the time, it was frustrating, but ultimately, I was not meant to be a district attorney.
Right.
If
You totally were.
I look at my friends on that path though, and it's not me. It's just not me, and it doesn't mean that I couldn't be good at the job.
Yeah, but-
you know,
Sure.
But your friends on the other side of the world, your degenerate friends, such as Chris Thomas, Brian, and myself, could really benefit from having a close friend who was a
I
district
need
attorney.
you like 2
Well,
weeks from now. I
and
gotta-
you
So
also
you've really fucked up our futures. You didn't.
I'm
you,
a selfish
you were,
asshole.
You were
Selfish
thinking
son
about
of a
the
bitch.
world.
I was.
You were busy thinking about the world instead of considering our needs and
Instead
our
of considering future friends that I would make post law school that
Right.
would end up being.
But
part
as a
of-
result, now we've got this beautiful walking music that you're doing. We've got these. I mean, that was just a glimpse of
Hey,
what
yeah,
you've got
43
coming.
seconds,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, you.
We've
Big
got
Matt
a
Williams is
7-minute
at the
clip
back
if you
door.
guys
Will
want
you
to
grab
throw
it?
it.
Yeah.
If you guys want to watch
Throw
the
that 2nd
7-minute
video
clip,
up and then we'll go.
then
Yeah.
we don't have to watch the whole thing, but this is the clip. This is the night when I gave the Rastas the camera for the first
There we
time.
go.
And I basically just said, here's the cameras, guys. We've built the trust now.
Music to me,
And so they just started talking to all their friends about the camp.
soulful, it's like the herb, you know, spiritually. The music is a mission. And the mission, where I get out of it is teach the people them about Jah. So the music for always be clean and positive. The conquering lion must prevail. They never teach it, never teach it. About this stone, only thing them teach it. About Rome.
See me say, me ball vampire mama vampire pick me, vampire mama daddy vampire pick me. Come them a come fi suck the blood out of me, come them a come fi suck the blood out of me. Pass me the peg and make me peg the daddy. Pass me the peg and make me peg the mama. And me must find a way fi catch the pitney. Vampire mama daddy vampire pick me, vampire mama daddy vampire pick me. Come them a come fi suck the blood out of me. Come them a come fi suck the blood out of me. Come them a come fi suck the blood out of me. Pass me the peg and make me peg the daddy. Pass me the peg and make me peg the mama. And me must find a way fi catch the pitney. The ball vampire mama vampire pick me, vampire mama daddy vampire pick me. Yeah.
Rastafari. Yeah. We are talking to the ancient Congo man. Congo Jesse. Rastafari blessed.
Reggae music, it need more organizing lyrics. Yeah man, and the works must have head to God. There must be some words of purity, you see. Them kind of lyrics there we need. Love, you know.
My lord. Yeah. Come up. I bring up him water from down at the water place right away. Where I say, yes I. Put on the weight off of the head man.
Now my perspective towards reggae music now. The man have too much computer rhythm.
True.
The live band them.
Yeah.
The guitar, you see it, and the drum. Tell you the truth. You can't tell which direction it's going unless we direct the reggae music, which is Rasta.
Rastafari.
Because if we left it to the Romans them, there shall be no more reggae music.
True.
There shall be hip hop or R&B. And we as Rasta, we love music and know true music.
Syncing these tracks
But
with the
I mean, live
computer,
band
but
them,
writing the
and a
music for a
concert and
band.
a
So we
performance.
want to go back to Jamaica when
Without
the
it.
season is done and do a live performance with all these different songs.
Raw instrument.
But
True.
Yeah.
they're really
Remember
adamant
the
about that.
days.
And
So if you turn up dead, it's probably
it could be
this guy right here.
I don't know, man. I don't think that it would go that far. But
Well,
maybe.
I'm just trying to blueprint some shit, just in case.
If the body gets shipped back from Jamaica, then
What's his name?
you know he's one of the guys that I don't know his name.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Because he's plotting on your ass.
Well, but I haven't really. We've only met.
Well, you see,
through
he's got to do like
video.
the closed captioning for everything they're saying. Because
Well, it's interesting. I haven't decided if I'm
hard
gonna.
to understand. A lot of
The
it?
music, all the interviews are subtitled. The
Sometimes
music.
you do that with Ryan.
Yeah, right. The music doesn't necessarily. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it yet. I'm going in on guitars. I'm halfway through guitars right now on the soundtrack, and then I'll send the songs out to final production to get ready for November. And like the stuff that they're singing, some of them, the Rasta's a pretty raw religion, man, and they're talking about like the New World Order and microchips and fucking aliens and all these different things. And the music is so like effective, like it really draws people in. Reggae music just does, and I almost want people to not know what they're saying.
Right.
So you're not going to subtitle the music?
I don't
so
know
we're
yet.
singing it, and we think it's a happy song. I'm singing with my 6-year-old in the back of my
Well,
but they are pretty happy.
We're bumping
They-
along, and then later I find out that the song's about killing the white devil.
Well, but see, they don't have like the.
You're going to fuck up my kid's
I
childhood.
could mess up your whole kid's lives. They don't have any ill will towards people. That's the
I
cool
know,
thing
I'm
about
just fucking
Rastas.
with you.
But but the music, like it's got really positive vibes, and then it's talking about God destroying the world because it's wicked. Rastas believe in that whole revelation, wicked man. We need a restart, and the chosen people will be
Can we
lifted
get the
up
restart
before the restart.
like after us though?
Well, that's what I think, that the restart doesn't necessarily have to be destruction, and that's maybe where me and the Rastas, if we sit down and talk about spirituality and religion, there's not. We haven't really found common ground outside of love. The Rastas are love. They love everyone, and they're super.
Are these conversations happening
artists
when
from
you
Jamaica,
guys
you
are
know?
all properly medicated?
The Rastas are properly medicated from the moment they wake up
That's their
until the
thing,
moment they go to bed. I mean, when in Rome, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm from Colorado, a musician, and went to law school, and was in Jamaica, and
So you should smoke weed all the
Man,
time.
yeah, we're like their sister country
Yeah.
at this
Right.
point.
they
Hey, real
love
quick,
Colorado.
we've got 2 guests hanging out over in Studio B. We're going to bring them in and join us. Will, would you slide down one seat?
Yeah, man.
And let's bring in Nick Gossert
You can,
and Matt Williams. Watch your head, guys, coming through that little area right there. I have to worry about everybody but myself.
Will, when are you releasing all that stuff to the world, man?
Well, we're gonna do
Nick, give us
6 episodes.
hit your hand on Will's thigh as much as you can, and then Matt, you gotta cram your big ass in there too.
We're gonna do 6 episodes, and the first episode will be released the second week of November, and we'll carry on to the So,
Keep an eye on Walking Music.
yeah, and
And
I'm
go
gonna
viral.
do the end of September. We'll see a full-length 3.5 minute preview. And this section that you're
Did you
watching
just say a
now-
full-length 3.5 minute preview?
Well, instead of the
Because
90
that's
second-
talking about my tiny wiener, huge cock.
I did. I was specifically referencing your penis. And then this section that you're watching now is the Meet the Rasta section. And for me, it's the most, it's my favorite part because it doesn't involve me at all. It's one of the only parts of the documentary where I just gave the cameras to the Rastas. Right when we established trust. And I hadn't met most of these people that were on camera until after we saw this footage. So there's going to be about a 12-minute feature that I'm going to be using to help shop the future seasons and do some other things, but it's from episode 3.
Nice.
So 6 episodes, we'll just throw them
So
out
check
there.
it out this fall. Coming
It
up.
will be on worldviral.tv if you click on the shows, right?
Shows on demand.
Shows on demand.
This is Roach from.
That's from Spice One.
Oh, it's not.
That
from-
Roach is
It's
from
not from the
Spice One.
He
reggae,
didn't bring
not
it
from the
from
Rasta.
the-
Spice One left that one here.
We could sell that on eBay.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, that's how we're going to pay for this place.
So hey, who do we have on the couch?
roaches.
Who do we have on the couch again?
On the couch
We
sitting
got
with
2
us
more
today,
joining us.
we have Will Kilduff, obviously, on the end. Sitting middle is Nick Gossert. Nick came up with a new way to present comedy and wrestling
And
in
wrestling.
college. It's fucking hilarious.
The
I don't care
Lucha
what you
Libre
say.
and laughs.
Lucha Libre and laughs. It's Mexican wrestling with the masks on.
Oh,
and
I got
comedy.
a clip for it. We got a clip. We're gonna
The
share,
commentators
'cause
that
it's
you
pretty
chose
hilarious.
are fucking awesome.
Oh, absolutely. I look forward to this thing blowing up, getting really big, and then contract disputes pulling London talent away from the show,
Right,
and then the
right.
whole thing collapsing.
Sure.
I mean, it is on their shoulders.
We've got Sam Talent and Nathan Lund are the commentators for this, who are two huge Denver local comics on the verge of blowing up nationally, which means as soon as they do, Nick's fucked. But that's cool. I mean, it's going to happen. That's what it is. Also joining us on the couch today is my bodyguard. This is Matt Williams. He is the owner of Choke Artist Geese. But outside of Choke Artist, the dude's a fucking amazing entrepreneur.
I met him at your match up at the Coliseum.
He came to the National Western to watch me.
We walked out together.
Yeah.
Remember?
You guys
I
shared,
do remember.
Shared a moment?
Yeah, it was a special moment. I don't want to talk about it, but
It's always a special moment.
Cuddle time?
We just watched Trevor kick some ass, so we were like, I
Kick some
love
ass,
that guy.
Kick some ass.
Yeah, there was some ass picking in
There
that
was a
one, for
lot
sure.
of ass.
Did you
Really?
say picking? We weren't picking asses.
I didn't pick any ass.
I don't. What are we talking
But
about?
anyway,
horny video?
Matt is, I'm trying to avoid that.
It's coming.
I didn't see the oil check, but
Have you seen it? Oh, it'll be up here.
That's another new reference. I like that. The
Well,
oil
sometimes it
check.
has to happen. Sometimes in a jiu-jitsu match, you need them to get to open up to take the back. The old mud drill.
it just happens.
Here it comes. Wow.
Well, I mean, I got to cue it
Oh,
up.
I'm
first.
sure. Anyway, Matt is one of my sponsors and my gi sponsor, which is awesome. I am one of the few
Explain
people,
to the people who don't know what a gi is, because my kids call their grandmother a gi, so gigi. So
your kids are fucking weird.
well, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Essentially, it's karate pajamas.
Right.
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 It's just
Every martial artist that you ever
Karate
see,
pajamas.
every martial artist you see in a movie, the stereotypical thing is that they're wearing a gi.
That's why those
pajama
guys put you to
pants.
sleep.
Hey, I
You're
got
already in
that. I
your
got that clip
jammies.
loaded
Oh,
up.
of
Here it
course you
goes.
do.
Sorry, guys.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
So that's a gi. The blue outfit there's a gi. And there's easy access, I think. Yep, right there. Nice.
That's going to be it for.
We're at court low.
I get a little tingle in my sphincter.
Gi is the pajamas that are worn by martial artists that you see. And for jiu-jitsu, the gi is much thicker, much more durable than a karate gi, which is kind of like summer clothes.
I don't get the impression that people are walking up to you and going, "Hey, nice pajamas, man." Like, I don't.
On occasion.
The word of the pajamas
On occasion, you never know. Anyway,
hard to
I get to be
connotate
the
this.
envy around my gym because I am one of two people now, because a gal at my gym bought one of the gis, but every time I walk in, they're like, I fucking love that gi. I fucking love that gi. He put together, as a jiu-jitsu practitioner, Matt built a gi based on what people who actually perform within the art like.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then beyond that, the aesthetics of the gi were really important to me. So we went out and a good friend of mine who's a partner in the company, very well.
You can name him.
Yeah, Josh Ford. Yeah, well-known local black belt here and tattoo artist, did all the artwork for it. So
Nice.
you kind of get the best of both worlds. Guys that really use it, and kind of the aesthetics as well.
And it's durable. I've been rolling with Professor Lucas Diaz, who is a Brazilian from Brazil, black belt. I think he's been rolling over with you guys.
Yeah,
a
he
little
has
bit
been.
lately.
Yeah.
And he is known. His trademark is ripping pants. He rips his grips are so tight when he grabs and pulls, he's shredding people's pants. And I've lost 0 pair, which is hugely impressive with all the companies that are out there,
Nice.
Venom and
That's a nice plug for the product, I would think.
I have yet to have any
Unrippable.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's very local. We're just around Denver, and guys seem to respond very well so far.
Everywhere when I compete, everybody asks where my gi came from.
Nice.
On the mat, everybody's like, "Hey."
Well, and you have a little bit of a metaphysical story about Choke Artist because your gi got stolen.
Yeah.
And then Choke Artist just showed up.
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing. At a tournament just before I met Matt, I competed and won gold, and apparently I set my gi down somewhere that I.
People steal other people's pajamas.
I did not say that. I misplaced my gi, and someone may have mistakenly put it in their bag. That's how I'm going to say it.
Sometimes you want it.
It's exactly what it is.
Sometimes you say,
asshole does that.
Sometimes you just say, I want somebody else's staph infection.
Exactly. And at the time, my really good friend Alex Huddleston was sponsored by Matt,
show, yeah.
and I had put up a post saying, "Hey, if anybody had incidentally placed my gi in their bag and taken it home, and they would like to return it at school. If not, I'm kind of out of a gi right now, which really sucks." And then Alex hooked Matt and I up, and we sat down and talked, and it ended up the universe put things into place in a great way.
All right.
And I've tried to represent his brand well. His brand is currently under my guys 2-0 with gold medals.
Nice.
Yeah, Alex has a few gold medals.
And Alex has a bunch.
We've got
Did he do your daughters? So you got kid custom size too?
We do have kids skis. Yeah. I don't. Like I said, very small. We just just getting started here and looking to grow huge and then obviously collapse.
Right.
Just the way it goes. Just the way it works. Yeah.
Well, what's going to happen is Nick and I, or Alex Huddleston and I, are both going to make it really big, and then we're just going to dump.
Yeah, you guys are like the twins from that movie with Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. There's no
You're Danny DeVito.
Exactly.
There's no polar opposite better than me and Alex.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, if there's one thing I would want in a gi, it's an extra absorbent part on the blade of the forearm to put icy hot in.
Oh.
So if you got the guy's back and he's not giving up the neck, right in the eyes.
Cheese grater across the face.
Yeah, which is icy hot on it. He'll give up his neck. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
Which certainly brings us to the Lucha Libre and laughs. Can we cue this up real quick just to give everybody some context, and then we'll talk to Nick about it. This, you guys have to see. This was just like 2.5 minutes. I saw this last night. I could not stop laughing. It's hilarious. Some of the audio you can't really hear super great from the guys actually commentating, but if you listen closely, it's funny shit. Man.
It's one of the many cell phone videos floating out there.
This is how your production goes. As many cell phone videos patched together as well.
The purple nipple.
Who are these?
In the ring, you will see the insatiable Johnny Crash, part of the tag team Market Street Riot, represented by, he looks a lot like Deacon Gray, but his name is Alabaster King. Facing off against Kiki Rose. And some referee that barely knows what he's doing.
Right.
Yours truly.
Oh man, that guy, you would not believe how often he gets distracted by bad guys. They pull it out to the center of the...
This is so wrong.
Oh god, I forgot all about this. It is technically a submission hold. I mean, by the rules of pro wrestling, it is a submission.
Finger lock?
Yeah. The old nip clip.
Oh.
Oh man.
Where are the masks? I mean,
where's the
There's
a bunch of them.
The scary thing is, those are the masks. Underneath it, lizard people.
Nick, I'm gonna go ahead right now and
look at. He goes back for the nipple. He did a quick nipple.
I want to call somebody out because I want in on this. I want in. Who currently has the lightweight belt?
That would be Luchador Golden Star.
I'm on it.
Who is
Luchador Golden Star? I'm calling your ass out.
You'll get the next crack after coming up on the 14th. We have a facing off with former WWE star Zach Gowen. So you're next in line.
Okay, I'm in. Zach, beat him up a little bit. I'm gonna need him softened up for me.
These guys, and I noticed, if you guys notice, he pans back on this. Sexy Pizza was the sponsor of this?
Yep, so we are
Sexy Pizza's fucking everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Yes, Sexpot Comedy is a huge sponsor of Denver Comedy. And yeah, we're lucky enough to be able to slap their logo on our show.
Yeah.
Well, we should have put his hooks in him right there.
Check out Nick.
Are you the referee?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's perfect with it.
Nick, how does it work?
Down, bam, bam.
Running the production and being the referee, because anything that happens outside of the ring, you're basically, from a production standpoint, unaware of while you are.
I really wish I could sit back and just listen to the commentary, because I can hear, I just hear, ha 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 ha. That's what I hear up there. But, for me, it's mostly pre-production. I make sure I have the right people in place to do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, because to let your baby go and know that there's not... I know for myself, like I put on large MMA fights. We've done some stuff at City Hall, and I have to be able to manage every. I'm like, all right, you need to be there. No, I said over there, not there, not there. You need to move over there. I need you doing this, and you're in the ring the whole time.
Not the whole time, because in between matches and during comics, you will see me running around like a crazy person.
Yeah.
Because I have to,
Well, you're already a crazy person.
Yeah, this is what made me a crazy person, or did being a crazy person lend towards this? Because as soon as the match is over, I dive out. I'm like, okay, you have 7 minutes. Get in there. Yeah. Where's the host? Find him. Where's Sam and Nathan? Okay, they're like all the comics are out back smoking.
You know where Sam and Nathan
running around, and then I have just enough time to like take a swig of water, dive back in the ring for the next match. Yeah. I am exhausted by the end of these shows.
Were you a big wrestling fan growing up?
Oh, absolutely.
That what led to this?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because as a kid, I think we all, everybody grows up a wrestling fan. Yeah. And just so you know, wrestling, 100% real. Oh, yeah. Just want everybody on the same page.
Oh, completely.
As kids, we're all beating each other up with DDTs and clotheslines in our backyards. And like most of us, I then graduated to, being an MMA fan. And like most people in here, I got into training for that until I wrecked my hip. But then, I started getting back involved with pro wrestling, then it was a few years ago for Too Much Funstival, something the Fine Gentlemen's Club puts on every summer. Nathan,
some more horrible comics around here.
Oh yes, the worst. But yeah, they wanted to do wrestling as part of a show at Castleman's, so I used my contacts. We did a couple of tag team matches, and then bands, and then comedy, and I was like, there's something here. We just need to mix the ingredients a little better. Right. And, a year later, we started this thing up where we, have a comic come out. For a long time, it was Bobby Valentino, a local strange man.
Sure. From the Laney's Clock Tower.
Yep, until his mysterious disappearance. And then Jordan Dahl's been taken over. We have Sam Talent, Nathan Lund doing the commentary, and we just tend to layer things. So a comic does his time, then joins Sam and Nathan for the color commentary for the next match. Nice. And we've gotten great comics, Andrew Orvidal, Adam Caton Holland. We have Ian Douglas Terry coming up. He's a really amazing comic who just moved to town. So far it's been a blast. I really can't say, I don't think anybody's seen the show and walked away going, that was just okay.
Where can you find one of these shows? Where can you...
We are at the
Orient. The next one coming up?
The next one coming up is September 14th, Sunday, at the Oriental Theater, kind of our home for the show.
Love the Oriental.
And
I played the lobby there once.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm going to say that every show
now. Had a harmonica while waiting for a drink. Nice. And this one's kind of a special one because we are working with a charity on this one. Nice. Goforthegoal.org. That's go the number 4, thegoal.org, which is a pediatric cancer in athletics charity. We got into that. Our main eventer, Zach Gowen, when he was 8 years old, he had cancer, and it was in the bone of his leg, and it was so bad they had to amputate his left leg. And he still went on to have an amazing amateur wrestling career in high school and college, and then made it to the WWE as a pro wrestler with one leg. And he doesn't keep a prosthetic on. He is on one leg.
He's hopping?
He is hopping. And he still gets up on the ropes, does backflips. I think most people remember him, unfortunately, for his very one-sided feud with Brock Lesnar, because that's the only type of feud you have with him.
Right.
But yeah, he's absolutely amazing. He's back on the indies now. And yeah, we've got him. He's going to be wearing special gear for the charity. They'll be there with a table.
Can we possibly do an event for the charity of me?
You look like you need it, judging from the clothes you're wearing, judging from we're recording this subterranean bunker of the Doom.
In this basement for your
I'm telling you, I'm poor and I need some help.
We'll just develop a horrible disease. We'll take care of you.
I have a disease. It's called poor.
We see the rash spreading.
It's called brokenitis. It's called no bank account-itis.
Right. It's bad news. So September 14th at the Oriental Theater. It's Lucha Libres and Laughs. Former WWE
Who's your favorite wrestler growing up, man?
WCW star.
Ooh, I think we all liked Hulk Hogan. I think it was hard to escape.
I was also a big fan of. I was a big fan of the Road Warriors from the AWA.
Absolutely. No, the Road Warriors were amazing.
Yeah. I was also Warrior.
The Warrior was insane.
For me, it was Junkyard Dog.
Junkyard Dog. I was also a huge fan of the Honky Tonk Man because I always liked the Ills, which is funny because
he had his Elvis.
Which is funny because I've actually been trying to get him for a few things.
Actually, look kind of like him.
That is a weird thing to say. But I was trying to get him for color commentary. But not that he's listening to this or his manager's listening to this, but let's just say we'll tag him. We'll just say this: somebody has a very interesting idea of their value when it comes to getting him over for color commentary.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. Well,
it's like take a 0 off that and we'll talk, buddy.
Well, he's been around for a while.
But you have this, just like in any other industry.
Oh,
Your value at one point was here, and at some point you have to realize that you still have to pay the mortgage, so you should maybe take this.
One of my favorite actually went to a WWF match when I was in 6th grade. It was like the biggest thing. My dad wanted to take me to a rock concert. I was like, I'd really rather go see the WWF. I still went to the rock concert, but he took me to a match, and this was when Mr. T was managing Hulk Hogan. And we got seats right as all the guys come out from the curtains
on the chute
behind it. Yeah, so we were literally. I was right on the railing. One of my biggest things I'd brag about when I was in 6th grade was that I got to touch Mr. T's mohawk right as he walked past me. Mr. Fuji, everybody remember Mr. Fuji? He spit on me. I was so excited. I was like, "Oh, Mr. Fuji!"
You know who else was one of my favorites? Was George the Animal Steel.
Oh yeah, George the Animal, the big green tongue. Had the hairiest back. Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Oh yeah, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
If you ever want to see something terrifying as an adult, go back and watch something with Mr. Fuji and watch his promos because you can see his forehead at the top of it is so scarred. From blading. It's so bad.
I did read an article this morning that Jake the Snake Roberts, who was on the road to recovery, has taken a turn for the worse.
Big turn,
so he's not doing well right now. But.
Yeah, and also it's very interesting with wrestling today, as far as the big stars, is seeing the sheer number of high-level grapplers and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts that are involved in the WWE.
Sure.
Where it's like CM Punk trained with Helson Gracie for a very long time. Daniel Bryan was actually lived at Extreme Couture for a very, very long time. Eva Mendez, Jiu-Jitsu black belt, all these, which is cool because now you see... it's like Daniel Bryan's finishing move is an omoplata.
Right.
So it's really cool, or a heel hook or a knee bar. And it's really cool seeing the kind of two things crossing over.
I think jiu-jitsu lends naturally to the body awareness that's needed to, especially falling and getting thrown.
Yeah, because it kind of takes it back to, because originally pro wrestling back in the early 1900s was MMA.
Yeah.
It's just they started realizing, we can make more money with this if it's fixed.
If we make it more entertaining.
Well, not even more entertaining, just fixed, because it was a carny scam. They would actually, at one point, Frank Gotch, with Farmer Burns, they had this setup where Gotch at one point went to an Alaskan mining town, and he would challenge people to fights, and he was legit, so he would just wreck everybody. And then Burns came to the town as the wrestling champion, and Gotch challenged him to a fight, and immediately beat him, and then they were like, all right, let's do a rematch and make it real. Everybody went in, everybody bet their money on Gotch. He threw the fight, and they ran out of town with all the town's money.
Nope. I'm just going to take a quick note.
And that's how the WWF started.
Don't mind me.
Yeah.
Fake
that was
fight,
good stuff.
take them.
Hey, I'm going to take this opportunity to play a Herman's ad. Is that cool, guys?
Yeah, man, let's do that.
Herman's ad. Sheesh.
All right.
Herman's Hideaway on the corner of Iowa and Broadway. Your favorite independent anti-corporate venue featuring Westward's best patio. Now serving award-winning food. From metal to jazz to hip-hop, Herman's Hideaway has something for everyone. And if you want to book your act at Herman's Hideaway, email booking@hermanshideaway.com or call 303-777-2535. There's only one venue, family owned and operated for over 50 years, holding it down in Denver. Go to hermanshideaway.com for more information and show listings.
Oh, that's a massive drop.
Back in.
right, so Matt, what do you think? You and I as a tag team champions?
Yeah,
Lucha
absolutely.
Libres and
I got to have the mask though.
Yeah,
yeah. We need a mask.
We'd all appreciate
it.
Yeah.
Let's put you in the mask, and I'll drag you out with a chain.
Genius.
We need the gimp.
I'd have to.
What would be your name?
I'd be the gimp.
We'd call
It
you
would
the
be pretty
gimp.
ironic though. If
The big guy was the gimp.
If you were the gimp, yeah.
I one time saw a match where they brought out a guy in a giant Frankenstein costume on. I mean, he was like 9 feet tall. He was obviously on some sort of stilts on a chain, and then had him chained up in the corner of the ring. But then things got chaotic. He broke free and just went on a rampage against everything because Lucha Libre has no idea about copyright law.
Right.
I have seen Spider-Man, Batman, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, all of them wrestling.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just a total disregard for corporate property.
I think we're onto something here,
He
Matt.
said, "Genius."
Let's do this.
Yeah, I'm in.
All right. Can we compete for the tag team championship?
We'll check with the athletic commission. They're very stringent about this sort of thing.
Right.
There's an actual commission.
Oh, pro wrestling is so
Probably need a
like
blood test.
I actually
My blood works in.
actually most states do require that because there have been cases where because the
Right.
ECW type people they blade
Everybody's bleeding.
yeah, and then people will go, oh, how did I get hepatitis? And,
It could have been from the whore on the road, but
yeah,
But no.
maybe the blood.
yeah.
Maybe the blood. So, Matt, outside of building geese, you also have like a grown-up job. When I meet with Matt, it's like in high-rise buildings and shit. And everybody in there's all like...
He has to wear pants.
Yeah, he's got like pants on.
Half the time, just half the time. I'm a developer. I develop commercial real estate, so we're doing self-storage deals and a warehouse deal, all kinds of fun stuff. So
And the rebound is happening a little bit, which is good.
yeah. I mean, in apartments, it's going crazy. I mean, this isn't about business and all this kind of fun stuff, but yeah, apartments are going nuts right now.
You can't rent an apartment.
No, you can't. I mean, it's
You can't afford to rent one you can find.
Yeah, and we got 8,000 units coming online. All kinds of crazy. Denver's becoming a really 24-hour city. I mean, we're seeing, when I came here, it was a culinary wasteland in '94. Right. We actually have great restaurants now. We got some. It's really becoming a 24-hour city. And you're kind of watching it evolve over the past 15, 20 years. It's been really neat. So, great place to be. I think everybody's realizing that. And then you stack on the, kind of what you guys were talking about, the weed here, and people come. My kid has epilepsy or whatever, and
we're seeing news story after news story.
Just the tourism alone has gotten.
I was thinking about just getting a van and start. You got micro brew tours. Why don't we have a green? Are they doing the green tour? The green?
There's like 3 or 4 different.
They already exist.
We need to pick up from the airport, direct to a dispensary before you go to the hotel.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's like the Cannabis Cruise or something. A friend of mine who used to work at the Cherry Cricket bought some school buses.
Yeah,
perfect.
And they painted them up, and they look all nice, and they pick people up at the airport, or they take them on this tour, and they got their contacts up in the mountains, and they go up to Black Hawk and Silver City, and they just roll joints and smoke.
Cannabis tourism, man. Yeah. That's where it's at.
Well, even the medical side of it, you're seeing story after story on the news of people that are moving with their child that has an illness here because they can actually use the cannabis oils here. They're helping with like epilepsy.
It goes even further than that. I mean, take the industrial.
The hemp side
the real estate stock has gone almost zero because warehouses are all being filled up, and spaces that were renting for $2 and $3 are now renting for 16 or 18. I mean, it's unbelievable. So
I fucked up again. I meant to buy property before they renovated Lodo for Coors Field, and I missed all of that. And then I meant to buy some property when.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So we've got 4 states now. There's 16 more coming online, so let's.
Oh, we got to go buy some elsewhere.
Yeah, let's go to Arizona or
Nevada's the place that you got to keep your eye on because their governor is very outspoken about the fact that he wants Nevada to be the Amsterdam of Colorado.
Is that right?
But their voters don't want to legalize it because they've already got all the.
They got enough. They got their own niche going on.
They've got enough debauchery.
Yeah,
they can't have everything.
The prostitution.
Right. They got whores. They got gambling. They got Why wouldn't they?
I'm okay with
drugs, so.
I wish I would have bought maybe in Washington because I'm a huge Seattle fan. Just the city itself. I should have bought a bunch of stuff up there. But they're still fucking it up. They've got
they
like
haven't
2
even
dispensaries.
done it.
Yeah, I'm actually just kind of disappointed that Vegas or Nevada's not pushing it farther. I would expect them to be like, where are we drawing the line? I don't know. When you put $1 in a slot and boobs come out and you do coke off of them, like that. That seems like where
Can we do that?
There's really nothing stopping us.
That's
but
a business idea right there.
Who doesn't want to do a big line of blow off some huge fake tits?
Hey, man. That's the American dream.
it's the
right
glory
there,
hole
that
of the
show.
coming century.
Yeah.
The glory.
Chris, let's go to Vegas.
All right.
Woo, Lordy.
Matt, are you in?
I'm in.
This is it. We'll get a van. We'll all just go.
Hey,
I'll have $6.
Exactly.
That'll be it. I'll be ready to go home.
17 cents.
I'm like, how much can I get for 84 cents? Like one shriveled up, like old lady tit. Like,
It actually comes through and flops.
and the coke falls off.
And it's just Coke boogers.
It's not even a line. There's nothing good on it. Oh man, we're fucked.
Spoken like people who've been there.
So what's the goals and the projection for Choke Artist right now?
Actually, we're just one of the things I'd like to see happen is one of the local guys, one of the local black belts here runs a USO tour. So I'd like to sponsor USO tour. I'm a big military guy. So start with that, and then
they just had a big opening with Robin Williams passing.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some room there.
Unfortunately, Robin Williams probably wasn't getting on the mat and rolling with people.
Right.
I'll go.
But maybe
he did keep those USO guys busy.
He had enough coke in his day that he might have done some of that stuff.
I'll go roll.
Exactly.
I'll go roll for free.
I would love to sponsor those guys and just give those guys
for sure
some of that stuff. And then one, I want to get feedback from all the guys that actually have a gi now, and hey, what can we do better? And then do version 3. So
I don't know how you're going to improve it.
Well,
the shrink rate is almost zero. I have no shrinkage.
A jetpack.
Get jetpack. Well,
if you could improve like my chokes with the gi, that would help.
Yeah, the old Bruce Lee saying, right?
Yeah.
I don't fear the man that does 10,000 kicks once. I fear the man that does one kick 10,000 times.
Yeah. So you're saying I need to train more?
Yeah, practice.
It's not in the gi.
It's not in the gi.
It's not in the gi.
Actually, what we're doing is I did a small test run of which was really well received, of a rash guard inside the gi, and it's really like
nice.
Yeah, it was really comfortable.
What is that? I'll explain to those of
rash
us.
Rash guard is like the Under Armour shirts that we wear underneath. They prevent rashes. The gi is not always.
It's kind of a rough.
It's an abrasive material because it's thick and it's got to be.
And I like to make mine really rough. So if the guy, as I go for the choke, I want him to get like road rash, like so. It's kind of my mark.
The Dan Severn cheese grater.
Yeah, I've been here.
Yeah.
Right?
So you're developing something that kind of eliminates.
So the inside of the gi.
Yeah, it's just real soft. It's really like rolling in pajamas. So I did 6 or 8 of those.
I'm in.
So moving more towards the bathrobe.
Yeah, exactly. Smoking jacket.
So I could wear it from the
MMA.
mat to the couch.
It's the Hugh Hefner.
Yeah,
it's the Hugh Hefner.
That's
yeah, you something like in the collar to avoid those fun choke hickeys.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the worst because you take too many chokes. You have these. It looks like you were like a teenager badly making out.
Can we get some padding in it because I've been really bruising a lot lately.
I'm surprised at how many.
That's just the hemophilia.
Actually, that's real. Don't get caught on bottom.
Oh.
I know you like the bottom, but
one of the things I've learned from the show, and I don't, just being on the show in the last few months, and some of the people that have come down, there's actually quite the connection between the MMA community or just fighting in general community and comedians. Like, I don't. When did that happen?
It's weird because there's a ton of comedians.
There's
that
people
train.
that like to laugh, and then there's a bunch of it, and then there's a lot of you that also like to inflict pain.
3 or 4 on in the last couple months. We had Ben Roy, who trains out of Blunt Force. Actually, he rolls all the way. He rolls all around.
Wasn't Mitch O'Connell? No, is that the name?
No, but I'll let you struggle with it.
I'll try.
Matt Monroe.
Oh, maybe it was.
Matt Monroe is a blue belt. He rolls.
Okay,
Nick has rolled before.
It's wild. What's the connect, you guys?
It's calming.
Well, what
is it like battle? Is going up?
It is very similar because my primary background is Muay Thai, and it's like the same.
God bless you.
Same. It's a couple things happen between comedy and training. First of all, you have a lot of spare time if you're doing comedy right. So you got to fill those mornings.
Right.
Also, it is that same competitive mindset and kind of preparation mindset where, comedy, you have to, come up with your jokes. You have to practice your jokes. You go to an open mic. Open mic is like sparring night.
Right.
You go in there, you're trying things out, you're taking a beating from the crowd. You walk out of it just a little more iron in your soul and your craft a little more honed. And then, you go up on the stage for a proper show, and that's where your skills have to be there or it's going to be terrible. Right. Same thing with fighting. You have to, learn the techniques. You practice the techniques. You get the crap beaten out of you, like to the point where you go home. Yeah, you just want to go. You go home crying what you're thinking. You're like, why am I doing this with my life? That's the same way you feel after leaving an open mic.
Yeah,
and then, yeah. And then
Wednesday was like that for me.
Yeah, but that's all important. So if you get to that big stage, all these things that happened before is what's going to lead to success up here. So it's a very similar mindset.
Like the correlation.
And it's very individualistic in the same sense, where if you put on a great performance on the stage or on the mat, that when you're spot on and when you hit it and when everything is clicking, and when you die by yourself out there in the middle of the stage, middle of the mat,
in front of everyone.
You turn around and look, and everybody's just walking away from the mat.
The thing where nobody will look you in the eye.
But speaking of training, didn't you just get your blue belt?
I did.
Congrats on that.
Thank you.
It was a beautiful baby blue one. Too. I saw the pics.
Baselli did that on purpose. He baby blued me.
No, shockingly did that.
Yeah. He baby blued me on purpose. He was like, I got a special one just for you, sir. But you know what? I'm going to wear the hell out of it.
Yeah, dude.
And I've been training like crazy in it, and I love it. I'm definitely going through the blue belt blues, where as soon as you get that blue belt, everybody then decides that
wants a piece of you.
Fair game. Yeah.
Well,
it's also it gets worse at purple.
Yeah, the purples have been just destroying me this last couple weeks.
It's like also blue when you get you first get your blue belt when you're first like, oh, okay, now I can get into blue belt level at the tournaments. I'm a blue belt. It's like, oh god, the 4-stripe guys are killing me.
I'm okay with that part.
Yeah, well, it's like, can I have my entrance fee back? No, okay.
I was only on the map for 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Interestingly, both of my youngest daughter started training, which is awesome. I got a 9 and a 6-year-old, and they fell in love with jiu-jitsu. My 9-year-old just had her first tournament. Didn't turn out exactly as she had predicted, but man, we got off the mat, and she was like, wow, that sucked. When do I get to sign up for another one? And I was like, oh shit, she's hooked. Yeah. So it's great. It's become a family thing. And as you were talking about earlier, there's this huge family between jiu-jitsu and MMA fighting and and everybody really reaches across lines and brings people up, which is pretty cool. Matt and I train out of different gyms, and gyms that are often the finals of a lot of tournaments. Yeah. Very rival gyms, but in a different way. Like, as soon as we get on the mat, it's all about I'm going to win. This is going to be the end of you.
It's not like Karate Kid.
No, but they
actually it is a lot like Karate Kid. Don't let anybody fool you.
It kind of is.
It's a lot like
there is so much 80s music.
Yeah.
Mr. Miyagi in the back rubbing his hands together.
Right.
You guys don't bring a massage therapist? Bring Miyagi?
Exactly.
It's another funny
Cobra Kai.
Another funny wrestling MMA connection is I'm sure most people here watched Pride back when that was still a thing, which was essentially the Japanese backing. It actually came from a shoot-style pro wrestling company trying to show that Japanese pro wrestlers were the best fighters in the world, which ended terribly for them. Like, you would see so many guys.
We had all the belts.
Well, it would be like
Gracie.
Versus Takada, but it would be so much like, here's a famous Japanese pro wrestler making his debut. Let's put him against Wanderlei Silva. It's like, why would you do that? What a terrible thing to do.
Oh, the Saka kick.
Yeah.
Crikey, that's going to hurt.
Or another one that was crazy is Dos Caras Jr., a masked Mexican wrestling star from Mexico, obviously.
A masked Mexican wrestling star from Jamaica.
Yeah, he was a legit Greco-Roman champ. He was going to go to the Olympics, but Mexico didn't have the money to send an Olympic team that year.
The cartels were low?
Yeah, exactly. But we're talking a legit world-class Greco-Roman guy who was in pro wrestling. Well, he transitioned over to MMA, and he was doing well, but he made the mistake of signing with Pride, who go, oh, you had 4 fights at a low level. Well, here you are against Crow Cop.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people here have seen that clip where he, the masked wrestler, where
Yeah.
Crow Cop caught him with that high kick. He just collapses in the corner, blood pouring out of the eye hole of his mask. But that was his, I think, like 4th MMA fight ever, and they put him up against the number 2 heavyweight in the world.
One of my really good friends, Leandro Veal, who football player out of Tennessee, then played with the Broncos for a while, transitioned to MMA. We got him on the Ring of Fire up in Broomfield, one of the larger promotions that comes through Denver. His very first MMA fight was against Chad Wicks. There's clips of it online somewhere. He hit Chad Wicks so hard that Chad flew across the ring, into the cage, knelt down, stands up, and just pukes. And then Leandro jumps on him and just ate him for lunch for about 40 more seconds before the ref went, "That'll do."
Kind of like, do you remember that fight between Brock Lesnar and Heath Herring, where Brock caught him with that punch, and it was like a bad kung fu movie where Herring actually flew back from that one punch and rolled to his feet.
Yeah. Well, Leandro fighting Chad Wicks was kind of like me next to Matt. They were the same weight, but Chad was about 1.5 feet shorter. I mean, he's wide but really short, and Leandro's a big dude. He played defensive end. He's no slouch. And when he hit him, you could see he hit him with everything he had. And he looked like the made-up wrestling move. Boom, into the cage, and then you just watch him puke.
Yeah, there was a guy at Muay Thai of Colorado. It was the same thing. He was very short and stocky, but was at the same weight. So he went in for his first. It was his first amateur match. Who ended up being Brennan Thatch.
Oh, oops.
It didn't end well. Because Thatch, first of all, is just genetically made for the sport.
Yeah.
But he was 8 inches taller. His arms were 4 feet longer. So it went to the second round, but not much further.
Yeah. Yeah, how Thatch... Oh, man, those guys. There's so many of them right now. I'm a 155er. And then I look at the UFC 155ers, and we're looking at Donald Cerrone, who's 6'1" and 155 with a minimal weight cut, and guys like Thatch who are just genetic fucking freaks.
Killers.
Yeah, even in jiu-jitsu, I grapple a lot of times at 155 to 169 just because I'm too lazy to cut the rest of the way to 55 for jiu-jitsu, and I walk on the mat, and it always looks like I'm fighting my uncle.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're always 8-9 inches taller than me.
Oh, see, my weight class is over. 205 and over. I just circle over and call it good.
Yeah.
I don't even have to weigh in.
Yeah.
Well, it's an amazing thing because what it is, we see these people who are just. Is we've seen the transition through the course of our generation of watching MMA, where it went from martial artists to athletes.
Yeah.
So it was the guys who were cutting weight, what the hell's that? I just know punching.
Yeah.
To the guys who otherwise would have been football players or basketball players or track and field stars, who instead they're taking their genetic freakishness to that.
You have to now. You have to be an athlete, a natural born athlete, to get into MMA anymore. You can't be a jiu-jitsu practitioner. You can't be just a Muay Thai fighter. You can't be just a wrestler. Like before, back in the day, UFC 1 here in Denver with the G-Man as the commentator. You couldn't be just one side. Those guys would just get smashed with today's fighters because everyone is so multi-dimensional. I mean, you don't know if you're eating punches or about to get armbarred. It's just going to happen.
Yeah, my favorite thing about UFC 1 was that guy with one boxing glove.
Yeah,
Art Jimerson.
Art Jimerson. Yeah.
Art Jimerson. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny to think that. We could probably between this group think of probably 15 guys that we know now who, if you took them back in time, would have won UFC 1 handily.
Oh yeah,
and that's just in Denver.
Yeah, just local guys in Denver that could have won UFC 1 easy. I'll go with Josh Copeland right off the top.
The cuddly bear.
Yeah, he. Well, I guess now he's top level anyway. He just signed UFC. So, but I mean, there's probably 10 guys out of Denver that are.
Oh yeah.
Easily would have been the top of their class back in the day. That are just local fighters, for sure. It's insane.
It sounds like it, man.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty heavy.
The sport
Will
is
and I don't
crazy.
know fuck about this.
You guys are just staring at us like we're drunk.
About the entire conversation.
As you take a nap.
I was about to fall asleep.
No, I'm good. I'm just trying to think if I know any names. I was gonna.
I'm gonna go back to talking about WWF.
Yeah,
I was about
to say,
it's so weird that like once you're into that lifestyle, you just think everybody knows everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you talk to friends that don't follow it at all, they just have this look on their face while you're talking like,
hey,
did I turn off
I'm
the
easily just as
iron?
fascinated. One of the things, I didn't know anything about the comedy scene before I got on the show, and I knew I'd been to comedy works a few times or whatever else, and I knew, I think the biggest comic I knew over the last decade was Josh Blue, and I'd seen him
because he came out of Denver.
Because he came out of Denver, but I'd also remembered my wife and I had seen him at a show opening up. Him and Chuck Roy were opening up. Well, Chuck was like hosting the shows, and at one point, and I saw Josh come out, and he opened for another big comedian one day, and the wife and I are like, "Oh, Josh!" And then next thing you know, he's on NBC, and we're like, "Oh, hey, we know that guy," and you feel special, like you know something. I don't know shit about shit until I've been on the show now. I'm starting to learn more about the fighting communities. I didn't know Dr. Kevin Fitzgerald was until last week, man, and then and all.
Then you realize how huge he is.
Jesus, dude,
a couple
massive.
A couple months back, Josh Blue actually did a really cool thing for the Fine Gentlemen's Club. It was the typical Wednesday show at the Deer Pile, and Josh called Sam. Is like, "Hey, is the show still going? I'm going to bring something over. It's going to be really cool." He shows up with Dave Chappelle, who goes up at the Deer Pile and does 20 minutes to a surprise crowd that went apeshit.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Chappelle spent 10 days in Denver when he was booked for a 2-day show.
Yeah.
He just stayed, and he went around and did open mics and hung out.
We saw him at Oddball last year.
Yeah.
And he was so refreshed to be in Denver because him going back on the road and touring. There was some issues because his show was so popular that a bunch of silly assholes, all they do is scream Rick James bitch and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And they actually shut down a couple of the shows on the East Coast before he got to Denver because of people in the audience heckling. So they were very adamant at the Oddball at Fiddler's to not have your cell phones out, to not heckle, to not do anything.
Oh yeah,
Chappelle just opened up on stage because the Denver audience was so awesome.
Well,
and then there actually became a heckler, and he was like, "No, let's play this out." And he had this exchange with the person saying whatever, and he let them stay instead of get kicked out. And at the end, he's just like, "Denver, I love you." And Fiddlers, they turn the lights off. They turn the electricity off. And they turned him off. They turned the electricity off. He wanted to keep going. He would have gone for another hour.
Yeah,
I guarantee it.
But because of the noise,
the noise
ordinance.
It's just cool to see him back out and about.
And also something he's been doing, from the looks of him, working out.
He's getting big. Everybody's getting big. Kevin Hart's getting big. Chappelle's getting big.
Yeah.
All these guys.
Kevin Hart getting big, you got to keep that into perspective.
Well, within the proportions.
4'6" or some shit.
But he's getting yoked, man. He's in
shape. 4'6".
Right.
Well, I'm trying to remember. There's also
getting smaller.
There's also a couple of comics, I can't remember their names, but who doing because DDP yoga, which is kind of a big thing now. Doing that, it would have dropped. Oh God, it was like I'm trying to say Aginla, but that's a hockey player. But anyway, like a lot of these kind of bigger, as in not just big, they're famous, but like big. They look like a garbage bag full of mayonnaise. Have gotten into good shape with doing.
I like that.
That's an interesting visual.
Great visual.
Just a garbage bag full of rancid mayonnaise. But
dated her
one time.
Well.
That's what I'm going to look like at 50. I'm just going to let it all go and become a giant bag.
But that's another kind of pro wrestling connection is Diamond Dallas Page created his own form of yoga pretty much to repair his own broken body. And all sorts of, comedians and
he was on, Diamond Dallas was on...
he was on Shark Tank.
The business Shark Tank, yeah. He was on the Shark
Tank. Which he pretty much had to make the craziest thing on there because normally
they weren't even buying it. They weren't going for it.
Well, he didn't offer... It was actually a pre-show thing. He's like, this isn't for sale.
He just needed the exposure.
Yeah, I'm just coming on this to show it off, but don't make any offers because I'm not selling.
They were who was it? It was Kevin, the one that calls himself Mr. Wonderful or something. He was just like, this is a joke, right?
Was it Mr. Wonderful a wrestler?
Well, Mr. Wonderful was also Paul
Orton.
Yeah.
But the one that plays it on the Shark Tank, he just had no love for him. And Diamond Dallas, you could see him getting like visibly ready to
irritated.
Just crack him right there on the show. He was like, "I will break you after this is over." But yeah, that's interesting. Well, it's crazy to learn all this
stuff. I think there's just a huge connection between all of it anymore because no one can be singular focused anymore.
And we talk about that on the show all the time. How there's we're constantly getting guests that have their hands in 5 different cookie jars at any given moment, and Will's obviously
you run into guys like Will,
one of those, and Nick,
owns
and
a coffee company,
you know, all you guys.
Does walking music, has a law. I mean,
helping all the kids out all the time. I mean,
it always makes me feel like such a failure.
Laughing and doing
but
and wrestling
I mean,
and
you guys
doing
both
any
do the
number of
same
other
thing, and
things.
that's one of the reasons why the show attracts guests like it does, is because you know, you got to have your eyes open in this world today. And who wants to do the same fucking boring shit all day, every single day?
It really is kind of the beauty of the nexus of the show. I think we've started to find our, there's something here.
There's a cool hub that keeps connecting, which is really nice, and it's.
Well, you're easy on the eyes too.
Well, I'm a good-looking man.
The handsomeness helps. It does help.
But it's always interesting.
He's a 6.5.
But my wife,
my
wife is like a 9.5, 10, which makes me almost an 8.
You do get at least 2 points for
the wife.
I'm in the same boat. Like my fiance is a 10. I'm a 4.
Right,
but it's like
you're a 7 now.
I just bask in her reflected glory.
Yeah, you're a 7. You're a solid 7 with her.
Which is
amazing. Married, you have to average your numbers.
Yeah, right. well, that's also the funny thing when you're in a position like me, because you have a beautiful girl. Guys check her out, then they're looking at you like, what the fuck?
Seriously,
I get that all the time. I get the how did, and I go,
oh, I get that.
Every guy in this room has done that too, though. Seeing a hot ass chick with someone where you're like, whoa.
With the funny guy.
That one,
yeah, with the funny guy.
Always with the funny guy. Well, hey, we
jokes or money, one of the two.
I did see that we have our musical guests are popping their heads in here in studio. Why don't we take a break and let's get them on the couch? You guys, thank you very much for coming out today. Will, appreciate it.
Always.
Nick, and of course Matt. So thank you guys
Matt,
very much.
Matt's gonna
Mac's gonna crush me right now.
Want to choke you really quick.
Hey, I'm a sleep deprived individual. Man. Take it easy on me.
Yeah, you did send the show prep at 4:45 this morning.
Yeah, and I got to sleep from about 6 to 6:45. So yeah.
But we'll be right back,
Cocaine
I guess, fellas.
Cocaine on titties.
That's what you do. Put him in a rear naked when he's out. You just like feed him Andium like it's a.
We're back.
Yeah, we are. We're back. I'm ready whenever
you're in.
I'm here.
Back
yeah.
You're in. You ready?
I'm in.
Hey, welcome back. This is World Viral.tv, unfiltered and unaffected. Trevor O'Connor, Brian the Terminator Roundtree. Is that what we're going to go with? Chris Thomas, obviously behind the desk, pushing the faders and buttons and triggers and things and doing stuff. We have much better guests, better looking guests on the couch with us now.
Chris has a job interview good thing going on over there.
Oh, what's going on over there?
This is Jessica. She goes to Colorado Institute of Art.
Nice.
Yay!
Welcome,
and she's interested in doing an internship here, so I have her resume up.
You think she's...
Oh, nice.
She's in the audio-video program with Dan Buckley, who plays guitar in my...
So she's looking around here going, what the fuck are you guys doing?
This is real.
Over there.
She thinks this is real. Thank you guys for showing up.
Yeah.
Pro operation.
Sitting on the couch with us
Kerry
is
Paul in the house.
Kerry Pastine from Kerry Pastine and the Crime Scene.
And the Crimes. That's the coolest
which is weird
band,
because
man.
I know
It's
you
just
from a
such cool
different,
band.
different setup. Yeah, which is equally as important, but different.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm
good to see you.
Welcome, you
Yeah,
guys. Welcome,
thank you so much.
Yeah.
You know,
what did you mean by that? The informants?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've always just connected your name with the informants.
Totally.
That's how it's always been.
Me too.
Yeah. Now, Kerry Pastine and the Crime Machine is what we're gonna.
Crime Scene.
Crime Scene.
Crime Machine would be a good name too.
Crime
though.
Machine would be alright.
Crime Scene.
Yeah.
Kerry
Or the
Pastine
Sex
Crime-
Machine, you know.
That
work
was
with that.
Matt from
That
Hawk
too.
Attack's idea. That'll be the fun.
Once they split up, it'll be Kerry and the Crime Machine. It'll be like, Jefferson Airplane was now Jefferson Starship.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
That is the porn couch, so Sex
I was
Machine
gonna
could happen
say,
right here.
Yeah, that's our funk project.
Right. Ooh, don't leave the funk on the porn
Yo.
set.
Stinks.
Never leave the
Rad.
funk on the porn set. Is
No,
this
but-
not the most pornrific?
This
studio?
Oh yeah, it's
so rad.
totally ready
It's
for it.
fantastic.
yeah.
But no,
I'm getting some designer ideas.
Yeah, the name actually ties it all together because it was sort of an offshoot of where the informants kind of left off, and we kind of wanted to keep our thing going, but also then sort of be able to go out and tour and do things like that. And the last informants record was called Crime Scene Queen, so
Yeah. it's
the,
nice
the
idea.
rhyming thing too was like,
Right.
what are you
The
gonna do?
perfect transition.
What do you do with Pastine? And
Yeah.
she's like, it rhymes with crime scene.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
it's funny too because when you bust your ass in your career and then you're like, no, I don't want to put my name out there. I don't want to put my. And so he kept talking about this marketing thing because we'd written a book together in the last couple of years. We've done audio meditations. We've done all kinds of rad shit. But if they don't know your name, then how are you going to get it out there? And he's like, I think kind of everybody knows your name by now.
This is
so.
the age of personal branding for sure.
But
so,
I always like that kind of, gang mentality. I like cool band names, and I was like, we have to use my name? Fine.
How do we make it cool?
So this is where this is the polar opposite between Kerry and myself.
Right.
My brand has always been my first name.
Yeah, it's always
Trevor
about
rocks
Trevor.
Denver. Trevor
Yeah.
everything. Trevor.
Trevor
And it
forever.
works.
Yeah, it just goes. It goes.
Totally.
I was
Totally
like, are you
goes.
kidding me? The logo's going to be my face, and the title's going to be my name. That's how this shit's going to go.
I'm
Nice.
going to come to you for coaching.
Yeah, that way no one can ever steal it. What, are you going to steal my face?
Yeah.
Exactly, or the
Totally.
name, and it's
Well,
hard to find something that
But
works.
it works too because we like that kind of old school vintage rock and roll with a modern edge to it, and we with the informants we were always putting up crime scene tape and just kind of
Sure, the
wanting
old
to
Runaways
have
feel.
that little dangerous
Sure.
feel and edge
Garage
to it.
rock almost,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, so this was a perfect segue for us, and then obviously the informants we've kind of just all gone our separate ways. Well, some of us have, and then we wanted to really put a band back together, but it took us a while to figure out what we were doing, and then we were so spoiled and used to Mark Richardson writing all the informant songs, and we actually were given his blessing to have a couple of his songs on this latest
Nice.
album that we've done. But Paul and I just kind of had one of those come to Jesus moments where we're like, fuck, we have to write our stuff.
yeah.
And it's scary and it's hard, but once we get into the groove and the flow, we know what we want, we know what we like. So let's just
How
do
does
it.
that writing process work for you guys now?
Which is interesting. Yeah, I mean, it took a while. I mean, I wrote for my old band back where we started playing here, early 2000s and stuff, but I hadn't done it because Mark was writing the informants material, and it was killer stuff, and it was just like all the right parts and things like that. And so for me to kind of get back into it was it's sort of like riding a bike, but you gotta write some turds before things start kind of coming along. And we have a warehouse, and so we would come up with ideas. But working together, to me, was a way better way to work in writing songs. It was the songs were way more interesting. Somebody's there to tell you if something's not so great. Yep. That sucks. Yep. Do something else. I mean, you're always nice
and
about it.
We're a couple, so we live together. We just eat, breathe, sleep this stuff constantly. So we were hanging out with there's a band out there, a really amazing band called Vintage Trouble, and we were
love Vintage.
Aren't they great? They're
super cool guys.
And we just
you guys were rolling around with those guys.
Well, it was one of those happy accidents in
I
Vegas.
can see how that would work.
And they were like, "You guys want to have some drinks with us?" And they were on the bill with Band of Skulls, and we were all just kind of hanging out at the Hard Rock in Vegas, and 20 hours later.
Skulls too. Huh?
So I saw that they were playing and it was at the small club, which is about the same size as Herman's.
Right.
And it was $20 for both bands, and I was like, we're going, bought tickets, and so we flew out there, and the Vintage Trouble opened actually, and so they just blew our minds, and went out and talked to them. They do the sort of meet and greet thing afterwards, but it was crowded, but it wasn't super jam packed, and it's a pretty low key hang. So we went and got some food, and they were like, yeah, let's go just hang for a bit. And so we got to talking to him and ended up sort of just staying friends and things like that.
Well, their drummer said
I could totally
to us,
see how you guys would roll with that band.
It was so fun.
And a great spirit in those guys too. I mean, they're super,
they've got that classic feel though. They really do have that classic old,
but also warm, and they
put
out a really good energy, and they're all about they're an LA band, but it's anywhere you are, any scene is.
It's 10:30.
Whoa, easy,
the alarm is going
easy.
off. But any scene is what you make it, and so it was just if you put good energy out there, it's going to come back to you, and so it's like let's just play the music we love and get out there and do it.
Yeah.
Real quick, we have to pause for 1 second.
Sure.
Dude, so
at 10:30, at 10:30, I always take a picture and we mark it Trevor's 10:30 challenge because I want to know what everybody else is doing at 10:30.
Right.
So on Instagram today,
doing.
you guys are going to be my 10:30 challenge.
Right.
Kerry and Paul. The crime scene.
There it is.
I challenge you to get a knuckle tattoo.
Yeah.
There it is.
Them.
Do I win?
Well, you won the challenge by taking the picture. You're doing cool shit at 10:30 in the morning.
Right? I'm not sitting at a computer.
Yeah, my drummer, he is constantly promoting Vintage Trouble. He loves those guys like nobody's business, man, and he's always talking about them and how they're coming to town. They do this, that, and the. I think they were coming with J.J. Graham Rofro not too long ago.
We saw him,
yeah.
And decent show. You guys, I'm sure, probably ended up hanging out with him or something.
Yeah, we did. Well, the funny part about where I was going with it was that the drummer, he looks at us.
The first thing, I mean, like the second we met him at the meet and greet thing, and so it was, oh, you guys play music too or whatever. But
and you're in love. Can't wait to hear the breakup album.
Oh, I can't wait for the breakup album. It's like
but it's hilarious though because
nice.
the songwriting process was like, wow, we're really good at communicating, and then this is the bridge.
Well, yeah, you get really.
This is the pre-chorus.
It's art. So, but we went through it with the book too. It's because I was editing, so it was sort of that's hard. Just because you don't want to mess with the vibe of the writing style and things like that. But so we kind of found our way through that collaborative thing there, and then but yeah, with music it's weird because like with guitar riffs and stuff, it's like. Don't mess with the riff,
right?
But I mean,
it's all built.
Did you not see that I wrote that very specifically for that?
Do you not hear how much this rules and rocks?
Now,
but the letting go is actually kind of the better thing because the edits.
How do you guys make that separation between we're working as a band right now and we're a couple right now? Because there has to be that business side where we can draw a line and go, listen, I love you to death. But this is business, and we have to talk about it because my wife is super intertwined into my business because I'm a retard, mostly, and
I'll vouch for that.
We're guys,
and I need her to keep things going. But she's also my wife, so I'm very sharp in how I answer questions. I don't carefully think things through in the most delicate manner. Would you guys?
That is the most polite way I could have ever heard you say that.
Very tactful.
And so,
way to work on that skill right now.
Right. So there's times
all that jiu-jitsu, man.
when I have to say, listen, I love you to death, and then I have to. This is what I said when I said I needed you to email
Chris
that.
knows a little something about that particular relationship.
I'm fairly stubborn too, so that actually sounds kind of familiar.
Well, it's interesting though for us because we were bandmates first.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So we.
That never happens.
You know, we were always hustling the band, and we were always communicating, and we always kind of knew our roles in the band. Like we knew our strengths already. And he was amazing in graphic design. All the digital stuff. Right. Paul was just constantly on, and then I was always like marketing and talking to people and out there giving hugs and kisses constantly. But we knew those roles were very established, which I think helped in our relationship and how we communicate, because we always communicated really well together.
That's cool.
So that was cool. You know, and also I think too, you know, not to get all braggy or weird, but we both done a lot of fucking work on ourselves, you know, in our lives to be better people or better partners in relationships, better bandmates. And I don't know, as a woman for myself, I like being around a bunch of guys in a band because you can talk about shit. You know,
she's the toughest bandmate I've ever had. I mean, seriously, being able to roll with the 6 other turds that we play with, and you know, I mean, and you know, shit gets nasty in the van or whatever. But yeah, I mean, we're right there with. But at the same time, there's a level of respect that's got to be there between all bandmates. And I mean, I think everybody here knows what a pain in the ass it is to keep together.
At the same time, my wife is in a band. She's a drummer.
Oh, right on.
Oh, okay.
And there are times, and I can't even fathom where I have to let her protect herself and her band.
Absolutely.
And stand up for herself.
Right.
Totally.
Where I'm a fighter.
Right.
That's what I do.
Literally, yeah.
Literally, it's what I do.
Right.
So when I see someone cross, I'm like, I'll just rip that motherfucker's head off right now. And she's like, I've got to learn to pull back. So for you're standing there right with her in all of it, in real life, in music world, and how do you?
Well, I mean, so that's
how do you give her? Is there a look that she gives you when it's okay to step in?
I mean, it's actually, it's one of those things where that's never had to happen.
Just back off.
We were just talking about that last night, though, actually. I mean, as far as, you know, like, with anything, you know, like with your kids or whatever it is, you've got to let people kind of go through their own experiences. And I think standing up for yourself is one of the biggest things. And so that's, you know, I came into the Informants as the new guy, you know, so I was sort of the last addition to the last piece of that puzzle. Right. So you know, everybody kind of finds their way through that. But, you know, with that group of people, and it was, you know, 7 really strong personalities, and I had led a band before that. But at the same time, you watch as these sort of personalities kind of play out and how things are working. But no, I mean, there were plenty of, you know, like, again, strong personalities. And, you know, Mark, with writing the songs, would have strong opinions about things. But being hard on each other is, you know, I mean, not being there's a line there where there's hard on somebody and just being a fucking asshole. And
mostly I'm a fucking asshole.
And, you know, I mean, but I can think of only, you know, 1 or 2 times wherein it was never me needing to do anything. It was really just, if things got heated, I think everybody kind of would go, whoa, you know, calm the fuck down and let's talk this out. But no, I mean, there's...
In the writing process, though, I think we learned a lot because we were side by side. In the writing process with the book, I mean, we literally had to put like Zen Garden on Pandora. You know?
Oh yeah,
keep shit cool.
Because
it's a self-help book. You know, it's like all these years of me coaching, we were finally like ready to put this in this like very cool, calm, spiritual format, and that's a heavy process when you're creating. You know, or you're editing together and you're doing all this stuff because you have to let each other have your feelings and your experiences, and you don't want to take anything away from each other because all of a sudden you're like in combat mode, you know. And so I think with the album, there's just times where we're both super perfectionistic and we think a lot and we always want to make things better.
And your perfection's not exactly the same as his perfection.
Totally. Right. So there were times where, like, especially in the final stages where I just pull his chair back from the console. We're rolling backward now. Step away.
Please step away.
Because you get so wrapped around your thing that it becomes the most important thing in the world, and it's like it's just a fucking album.
Yeah, right. You know, lives aren't hanging in the balance.
Chris probably feels the same.
Chris and I and Will, when we sat down to create World Viral TV, we wrote on a piece of paper in that green room right over there, kind of the 3 or 4 directives of what World Viral was, so that when we ended up in that place where we had dissected it to a point where it was no longer human, we could stop and pull that piece of paper out and go, we're not following what we said here. So we have to step back and go, it's supposed to be all about this.
Right.
And now we've micromanaged it to something that's disgusting.
Is it work? Is it working?
Right. Oh yeah, totally. But I mean, like the funkiness of the room, but it's those. I think it's those weird personality quirks and the imperfections that actually make what we all do as artists way more interesting. I mean, that's the thing is that, you know, because I'm a geek, so I can get hung up in, you know, way out in the fucking weeds on the details and whatever. Yeah. But it was like, you know, especially, you know, like getting back to the record, like listening to stuff and just leaving it alone. I mean, it's, I missed some shit, but that's the cool stuff in the record, you know, I mean, just.
It makes it different than the live show.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really cool.
But it was also an opportunity to explore a different way of recording, because the Informants just 7 people in a studio drinking the whole time and just going for it. And it was like
Johnny Love running around naked.
God bless Jeremy for helping us out in production. Jeremy Lott.
I noticed Mac McMurray's in the lineup again.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Yeah. So for the show at Herman's, I mean, that's the thing with bands and whatever, is that, you know, the Informants were like, I mean, are the ultimate family, but you can't. There are certain things that people want to kind of continue and whatever. And it was, you know, when we were looking at who do we want to play with, we just kind of threw it out there, and they were like, sure, and it worked, because there. I mean, the vibe we wanted to go for. I mean, and that's the thing, is that it's not too far left of where the Informants were, and, you know, we sound like we sound. You know, I mean, that's the thing, is, you know, we've been doing this long enough to where this is what we do, and we dig vintage rock and roll, and it was like, all right, so, you know, like. Our model and our little note was, you know, like, what would Quentin Tarantino do? Right. So it was, you know, like,
if you can live by that, if you had Quentin Tarantino with a little Robert Rodriguez,
that's
you win.
That's exactly what we're.
Win.
And, you know, so luckily, I mean, as far as the collaboration goes, we both like the same kind of stuff, thankfully, because, I mean, it's like we look out there and, you know, it's like even Facebook and whatever music people are posting, and we both react the same way, even though, you know, because we're always working side by side. And it's
Did you guys know each other before you were in a band together? Or?
We didn't, which is weird, because we were both playing in the scene at the same time, like totally running in the same circles, but
never
just sort of missed each other.
See, you were the new guy in the band, and she's like, "Hey, what's up there?"
It took 8 years later. That really
nice Les Paul.
No, that's not how it went. We were both married at the time.
Right. Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So I mean, that was the other thing about the Informants and just that growth period, was that, I mean, for me, obviously any sort of situation like that where a relationship kind of falls apart sucks personally. And I mean, and mine situation was particularly weird and difficult and whatever, but it was the band and the hang and rehearsals and just all of the work
that to go to
was, I mean, fucking God bless that weird dysfunctional family, because they made everything right. And I think, the same thing. It's like, yeah, you go through and you kind of help each other through these things. And it was only after that, you know.
Well, a lot happens in a year, but a lot happens in 10 years. So, you know, a lot, I mean, obviously, I've been, like, dry humping his leg on stage for the last,
Can we see
8
that?
years.
Can we see that right here?
We'll do it during the performance. Yeah,
you know, there's several Herman shows where I am literally skirt up on the leg going, that's classy, Kerry. Really classy. But speaking of Robert Rodriguez and Tarantino, we had written this song. He was kind of up at like 3:30 in the morning, you know, playing the guitar. And the next day he was like, check this out. And it was one of those magical moments where, you know, sometimes it takes forever to write songs. And that was one of those, don't play anymore. And I ran upstairs and this thing just came pouring out of me. And it's called The Other Side. And
if childbirth could only be that easy.
Sometimes, trust me,
parenting.
Getting this record out, I mean, I obviously know nothing about what childbirth feels like, but it felt like it for me. Jesus Christ.
Brian kind of knows.
I know a little bit about it. Been there a couple times.
Gotta take a bunch of drugs to deliver a baby.
Tell us about the what's the name of the book? Where can we find it? And then tell us about the name of the album.
Because we got to get the Studio B.
You guys over here.
So the name of the book is called Know Thyself. And it's kind of a workbook, a very small, very approachable kind of self-help book. So it's Know Thyself. That's what I have tattooed on my arm because it's my reminder.
Let me see.
But
I do too.
Yeah.
actually, his is really rad because on one side it's Know Thyself, but if you flip it over, there you go. What's that called?
Ambigram, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
So, but basically because I've been coaching and working with people for like 18, 19 years now, I really wanted to commit more to my music career, and I really wanted to make sure that kids and adults of all ages had an opportunity to have what a lot of my clients have had over the years, which is this beautiful relationship with themselves and this ability to, kind of go in and recognize why they are who they are, why they do what they do, and see if it works for them or not. But develop this beautiful relationship so that they, instead of just building a case against themselves all day long and getting in their own way in lives and sabotaging, they're actually designing their lives really on their own terms because they're listening. Right. So we wrote this short little workbook that's, it looks innocent because it's small and tiny, and you open it up and you're like, holy shit, this bitch is asking me some really rough questions. Yeah. But you can do it on your own because, growth should be, it shouldn't be hard, and it shouldn't take a million years because we're only on this planet for so long. Right. So I wanted it to be kind of a shorter process. So that's called Know Thyself, and it's available everywhere. Amazon, Kindle, we've got them in the back of our car.
Tattered cover, Hope Tank on Broadway.
I was going to say locally, it's like tattered and stuff.
So we actually just ordered another 1,000 books. Thanks, Joey Coloroso.
Being well received and stuff.
Oh, Joey's the man.
Joey
has done all my stickers, my banners.
Yep, he's doing a drumhead for us now, but 1,000 books. He just delivered them a couple weeks ago. I had to lug them all downstairs.
Cool.
But so it was also in this interactive sessions with Kerry are rad, and you've coached a bunch of musicians and people in the service industry and stuff around, and that it was really just to kind of me as the editor to how can we capture that vibe, because it doesn't feel like super heavy when you're in it. Right. She asked the right questions, and it's fun and it's cool, and it was like, all right, give me something that I can, where it's not like self-help books it's a bunch of just like all the shit that's wrong with you. Right. And this is not that.
This shoving it back in your face.
It's like I don't need to know that.
I'm really good at self-sabotage. So why don't you remind me how good I am at it?
Exactly. I'm an asshole.
Can we just cut to the Kumbaya chapter?
But anyway, so then the record.
The other piece of it is that we made it small. We didn't want like the big success coach, like you can make $1 million.
Yeah, she's not.
I hate that shit. Sure. So I like just to take the fear out of life. And like, let's get on with the things that we really want to do. So that was another piece of this, which was, what do we want to do? Because as a band, you think as a band, and we didn't have that. So we just asked ourselves, how could we, what are the songs we want to write? What are the coolest fucking songs we could ever write that we're always wishing we would write?
Hell yeah.
What would James Taylor do?
We never asked ourselves.
We never asked.
Except, there you go.
Right, vintage rock.
Well, and so, speaking of which, the other side is that spaghetti western, and he rips off this, he doesn't rip it off, but he whips out this rad guitar solo that's very Robert Rodriguez style, and it's beautiful, and it's got rain and the church bells, and it's kind of like this, it takes you back, and I really wanted that scene, like that Kill Bill scene in the church,
Yeah,
so it's cool, it's beautiful, it's a little rough and edgy, but we did everything from a rockabilly meets Guns N' Roses style song. We did sort of a funk song. So we've got a little bit of everything in this album, but it's all got a vintage feel,
Well, let's find out.
Yeah.
Cool. We're going to run to a quick break. We're going to put you guys in Studio B.
Okay.
So Chris can get a quick sound check. We'll be right back with Kerry Pastine and the Crime Scene Acoustic.
And in the meantime, we can watch their video Motor Vixen from Hell.
Indeed.
All right.
Hell.
Yeah.
I'm not the one you give your love. marks the 5th anniversary of the Highway Killer. For the past 4 years, there has been murder on Highway 61 in the Valley area. Travelers on that highway who will be in the Valley are urged to use caution today and to report any suspicious persons to the local authorities immediately. We now return to our music program.
Kerry Pastine and the Crime Scene will be playing at Herman's Hideaway on September 5th, Friday, September 5th. But right now we've got them live in Studio B. Here's Paul and Kerry. Take it away. Kerry.
Thank you.
Kerry Pastine and the Crime Scene.
We hold each other with one last breath, our souls entwined. Tonight we dine and ride with death.
Thank you, thank you. That was, goddamn, that was beautiful. It's almost like you two like know each other and like each other or some shit, man. That
make
was
beautiful
It was an
music
intimate
together.
setting with people that are intimate.
Yeah,
Right.
That was really cool.
And it wasn't even on the couch.
Kerry and Paul, Kerry Pastine in the crime scene. Thank you guys so much for coming out today. We want to thank the rest of our guests for coming out today too. Real quick, do we have a few minutes
Let's
to
do it.
Do dinner?
You
and
go
a movie
first.
Still. All right. I went to a place in Park Meadows Mall, mostly because I had like 10 minutes to get this particular portion of the segment done this week.
God.
And
Good on you.
And
Good
it was
on you.
close, and it was right behind the house. I said, "Screw it." I had a buddy who works over at the Life Kitchen, and he said, "Hey man, we're putting together. We got a restaurant over there that's got all kinds of stuff. I guess this is a big concept. It's actually kind of a franchise restaurant, but this is the only one that's in Colorado. It's super great food, natural stuff. We'll go ahead and take a peek at
Here's their
Life
website.
Kitchen. The website is lifekitchen.com. But
With a Y.
I downloaded the video, and I don't know where it is because I don't know PC very well, even though I've been doing this for 3 or 4 months now.
If you
Where
go
is
to,
it?
It's pretty short. If it's
if you
on
go
the
to start
Dropbox,
button,
just do the
computer, downloads.
start. Yeah, go to downloads.
Dude, that song's stuck in my head, guys.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's haunting.
Real quick, while he's
almost.
looking for that, the movie that I saw this week was The November Man, starring Pierce Brosnan, former.
Oh yeah.
Former. What was he? The James Bond.
Oh.
Well,
Remington
sure.
Steele.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if Remington Steele a lot more than James.
But he was
Bond,
a James
but
Bond.
Yeah.
The
sure.
November Man. If you liked the Jason Bourne stuff.
Yeah.
You're gonna like that. It was kind of it was right down that league. He's a killer.
He's kind of like a badass superhero type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I fully expected it to be a second tier movie because it's after all the summer blockbusters.
Right.
It's good.
Cool.
It's good.
Pierce doesn't put out too many bad
No,
movies.
he doesn't put out
The
very
guy's
many
a
movies, so he
great
picks and
actor,
chooses
yeah,
what he
he's-
wants.
As long as
I'm not going to
Pierce
give a
puts
bunch
out.
away. If you like action-packed movies with a good plot line, and you've ever been a fan of Pierce Brosnan, go see it. It's really good. I would give it a thumbs up. I would pay for it in a theater.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Right on.
That's not a bad review.
That's an excellent.
So
review.
did you make this video, Brian?
I did make a video. Big shout out to local Denver band Mosey West, who provides the soundtrack for this particular one.
All right, here we go.
Let's see it.
I seen you on that bar stool, seen you at the church, praying, Lord, forgive me, don't hit me where it hurt. Got yourself a big bang, got yourself a wife, loaded up that shotgun, go take away your life. I ain't from your part of town. Wander off that righteous path, wind up with the hellhounds, barking on the end of the tree. I found out, finally. Whiskey in your belly, candy in your nose, giving all your money to a lady on a pole. Hell, get her good and loaded, wait until she's coming down, begging on her knees, you can't cut me off right now. I ain't from your part of town, no. Wander off that righteous path, wind up with the hellhounds, barking out on the end of the tree. I found out, finally. Hell, I found out, finally. Hell, I found out, finally.
Is that it, Brian?
Yeah, that's it. that's coming up on the. I like this last little saying that's on the wall.
Ever doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world? Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, that was Life Kitchen.
Read to you by Chris Thomas.
I gotta say, I with where Life Kitchen's concerned, I am definitely not the health food nut. I'm not the guy that will ever even admit to, oh, I love health food, blah blah blah. A lot of people like that stuff. I've never been into it. I think this place converted me. I wanted to eat healthier last night. I wanted to eat healthier after I had this meal. I wanted to eat healthy this morning. Of course, I
would
bounced
take
right back
the
to
bun off and eat the rest of that chicken sandwich like it was going out of style.
I did want to eat healthy. From here on out, I'm 40 now. I just turned 40, so that was something that I thought about. But it had a great kids menu. I did go back to a chocolate eclair and milk this morning for breakfast. So
you weren't converted at all.
I mean, it didn't convert that much. I can't. I mean, baby steps. Baby steps. Anyways, thank you so much for our guest. What are you doing this weekend?
This weekend, what do you have coming up? I am committed to a show tonight, and I can't remember which show I'm going to.
You should be committed, period.
I should be.
That would be a show.
Tomorrow's Jiu-Jitsu all day, one of my favorite things in the world. Sunday. Tune in, 94.1 FM in Denver, 96.9 in Boulder, and 1550 AM across Colorado. I will be hosting or co-hosting Shameless MMA live on Mile High Sports. Jesus,
I hope you know.
MileHighSports.com. If you're in another city or state, you can tune in and listen to it live on ShamelessMMA.com or MileHighSports.com. But it will be 12 to 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Shameless MMA live.
I will be behind the bar, of course, at the Fox and Hound in Lone Tree on Saturday night, gearing up. We're really looking forward to college football this weekend.
Oh, football started. I forgot about that.
Football's kicking in high gear. Game started last night, so come out and check us out. But another big news.
You're expecting?
No. Fuck no. F-U-C-K, no way. The September issue of 5280 just dropped today. I got an article in there this month.
Why are we not on this?
Head to your local newsstands and check that out. I got to be a part of a freelance a piece about making money in a freelance way, and me and my buddy, my bass player Matt Action Jackson, went downtown and busked for an afternoon to see what it is to actually be a street musician and do it that way. I've been doing it in the clubs and everywhere else, and doing it the hardcore rock and roll way, and actually busking's hard as fuck. That's
you should just hold a cardboard sign. That's really the way to do it.
I got a lot of respect for those guys. We did find a comedian downtown that was making more money than any of the musicians. He was just telling jokes and making like $60 an hour.
Knock.
It's ridiculous.
You guys, we have a schedule to maintain, but if you want to see me, I'll be around Herman's Hideaway. 513, who was on our show before, will be here tonight.
Oh, great. Nice.
513 is always a great show.
And we have belly dancers that are performing in between all the bands tonight. Mr. Majestic's 8-track revival.
You have 513 belly dancers and guys with boners.
That's it. That's all.
Go see Kerry Pastine and the Crime Scene next Friday, February. Why am I
September
in February?
5th. Upstairs.
I'm still
September
asleep.
5th.
September 5th.
With Calder's Revolvers, one of my favorite bands.
Yep, love Calder's.
Well. Got Ryan, Chris, and
thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode of Unfiltered and Unaffected here on worldviral.tv. We will see you next Friday morning.
Protect your neck.
Protect your neck.
And it kind of has to go out with this.
You're so far away now. You're so hard to call. It makes it hard to say now. It's all your fault. You're so far away.
just take a sip. So you should maybe sip, so I can say this but I don't know how to say it, yeah. Baby, you're dangerous, I could just break my neck. Taking the plunge for you, there isn't any safety net. Now the way you colored your hair is the way I colored my heart. See, the day that you moved away is slowly growing more dark. Now the way you colored your nails is the shade of my cold blood. And the person that I became is not the same one that you loved. You're so. Now tell me, would it make it much better if all these songs were love letters? What would you say? Tell me, would it make it much better if you hadn't got this message from Twitter? What would it change? This is what becomes if he who lives life as one alone. And this is for the lessons learned and for the ones he'll never know.